Well, a very good evening. Welcome on in. You're watching HSN. I'm your host, Adam Freeman, and what a day it has been today. We're feeling good. We're feeling energized. We're feeling healthy, thanks to this gentleman. Mr. Andrew Lessman returns. Andrew, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I survived my 3 hours of sleep last night.
You didn't get a lot of sleep.
No, there was a wedding in the hotel, apparently.
Oh,
so
boy.
I think I was next to the room of the bride and groom.
Look at you.
So that speaks for itself. Yes. So if I doze off during the show, we'll all know why. Yes.
Well, one thing that Andrew is always there to do is to keep us informed and entertained, even when he's had only a couple hours sleep. But Andrew, dare I say, folks are shopping today for 1 or 2 Today specials.
Because I'm not here that often, I'm here basically 4 times a year, and that would mean about 8 Today specials a year. We decided to experiment with doing a second Today special.
Yes.
And if the volume was large enough, we'd be able to offer great pricing on a Today special. Well, thanks to you, the volume was large enough. So we're now typically doing 2 Today specials. So today, our second Today special is turmeric. We're just going to mention it briefly.
Yes.
We'll come back to it in about a half hour. But our second Today special, turmeric, would have been entirely sold out. We didn't anticipate this demand.
Wow.
We're now kind of, what are they saying, stealing from Peter to pay Paul?
That's it.
Because we are now, the product that we had available for February, March, that we were producing, that's what you're going to be getting. So it's going to be the freshest turmeric you've ever received, or any product you've ever received for that matter. But so we do now have enough for the next 2 hours. It will not last until midnight.
Right.
We're now through, we had a few extra million capsules. That sounds like a lot, but when you're filling all those sizes, it just ends up being several thousand bottles. So.
And Andrew, to that point, they did let me know before the show, really in the words of our producer, even if you briskly walk to the phone or jog to the phone, mind the dog, do not miss out on the turmeric. Because Andrew, even though we're spending a couple moments here, turmeric has gained a lot of momentum recently.
Well, I've talked about turmeric, if you've watched me, followed my products for over 20 years.
Right.
It was one of the key ingredients in one of my most popular products many years ago called World Health.
Right.
Where we combined the most exciting products from the diets from around the world. We had sort of like red wine extract, we had turmeric extract, and turmeric extract has been something I've always viewed as being important. Finally, the media and all the other sources have caught up, and certainly the research, the clinical studies, the science are beyond exciting. The most important thing about turmeric, it doesn't suffice to simply have the best standardized extract of turmeric. You must combine it with fat, which is, and we choose a fat that's the principal fat in your brain and your liver, to enhance its absorption, or some folks use black pepper, which I don't like to use that because it could affect the absorption and metabolism of certain drugs. So turmeric on its own is not going to be well absorbed. That's why in India, when they cook it in food, combines it, complexes it with fat, well absorbed. So we took a page out of the Indian sort of cookbook, and that's how our turmeric became 3,000% more absorptive than the standardized extract on its own. But that's the most important thing that everyone needs to know about turmeric. The best turmeric root on its own, you could put it in a smoothie, you could put it in juice, you could do different things with it. It's going to be poorly absorbed, unfortunately.
We're going to discover more about it, but no, it's the best pricing of the entire year. Do not
best pricing
miss out.
Ever.
Ever.
Best pricing ever. And turmeric is not necessarily something that's going to be a Today special every single year.
Right.
So you might have to wait 1.5 years or 2 years for this pricing again.
Well, with that in mind, we're going to go to our showcase feature, our Today special, circulation and vein support, and we are over the moon to bring a product that is not only one of our top rated, top reviewed, top pre-ordered, but a product that absolutely is a see the difference, feel the difference. If you're at home on this Sunday night and your legs are giving you hassle, your feet, your ankles, your calves, if you feel swollen, if they feel heavy, if you got into bed last night and you just couldn't calm down, they couldn't get comfortable, this is a product that's been helping to change people's lives for many, many years. So please bear that in mind as we get into it. Our pricing is through the roof, which is why I believe at last count we'd sold, well, many, many thousands.
The pricing's through the floor.
Through the floor.
Because it's lower.
Look how low it is.
This is a product that's been around for 22 years. We've increased the potency of its principal ingredient, diosmin, by 20%. We've added hesperidin and rudin. We've added butcher's broom extract, which is, I believe, almost every bit as potent and powerful and effective as diosmin.
Wow.
We've added pine bark extract, one of the most expensive ingredients in a supplement. And we've also added grapeseed extract, which is very expensive, for its OPCs, oligomeric proanthocyanidins. We added all of those things, and today, per capsule, the product is less expensive than it was when I introduced it 22 years ago.
That's crazy.
And if, as I said before, if I was better at marketing, we would have had this, we would have done this as a buy one, get one free. It was something that it was a revelation when we were looking at the chart on midnight when we kicked off the Today Special, and it's like, wow, the price of the 360 is $129.90 normally.
Right.
Normally, and that's our largest size normally. The price of the 720 today is $129.90. In other words, you're buying one and you're getting one free today.
And that size is exclusive to the Today Special, right, Andrew? It's not something you typically do.
That size is only available today. That size goes away, unfortunately, goes away at midnight. It's an extra large size. When we do a Today Special, it kind of transforms my entire manufacturing environment. For the last, say, several weeks, we have been the world of circulation vein and the world of turmeric in Henderson, Nevada. So that transformation of our company to focus on two products almost singularly, by doing so, that's the savings, that's the efficiencies, both because of the quantity of materials that we're ordering, that we can either produce the materials or get the materials at incredible savings, and then the efficiency with which we manufacture it. That becomes the crazy Today Special sizes and the crazy Today Special savings. And ideally, you get the 720 and you'll never, ever, ever pay, you'll never pay HSN price, you'll never even pay a special purchase price during a visit. You're only paying a Today Special price because that's going to last until January next year, because we've done a Today Special on this every January for 20 years.
Well, if you can use express ordering, or if you have the HSN app, definitely deliver through there, because we are extremely busy. Everybody obviously watched Andrew throughout the day and now is realizing, uh-oh, there's not that many left. Just to go over the sizes so you know, we have a Try Me down here. Don't be scared to give that a go. If you've never tried Andrew's product before, or specifically the circulation and vein, that's the 60 caps. This is the 180, this is the 360, and this is the 720. As Andrew mentioned, most folks will take 2 per day. I have to tell you a quick little side story. My mom, 5, 6 years ago, discovered this product. She got off the airplane and her feet were swollen. And Andrew, she complained about it the whole time. My mom she's a young 67, okay? And she loves to get dressed up and to go out and to have a nice time. But Andrew,
well, 67 is young.
It's very young.
I'm not that far away from that. It better be young.
But you're Iron Man, I've told you, you're living forever. But the thing is, so many folks, like my mom, don't feel happy or comfortable with the way their legs feel, their ankles feel, the way they look.
But they tolerate it, they grin and bear it.
Right.
They think we're stuck with it, that you can't do anything about it.
It's not true.
And again, and most people think the only things that maybe we'll do something about it, and we might try to avoid it, whatever, are drugs.
Right.
This isn't a drug, this isn't a medicine, but this is a product that has an abundance of clinical studies that, I hate to say it, that a lot of medicine and drugs, and I'm not saying this is a medicine or drug, but the amount of scientific support that the ingredients in this product has, I suspect it exceeds a lot of very reliable and well-established medicines. So just talking about the level of scientific proof is something entirely different. I'm not saying it's a drug or medicine, but it just does what it does, and it's been established that it does what it does.
But Andrew, I remember you saying way back when, and I referred my mom to this point, that some of the ingredients in Europe are almost like prescription ingredients.
They are. And that's because they position them differently. They position them to treat medical conditions or things like that, diosmin specifically. And that's not how I would position this product. It's not a drug, it's not a medicine. I mean, if your doctor wants to use something like this for some purpose, that's your doctor's prerogative. What we're talking about here are simply supporting the health of the veins in our legs. And the veins in our legs are overlooked. We focus on our heart, we focus on our arteries. The arteries are interesting because the arteries are what carries the blood to the places where it does its good work. Afterwards, we forget about it. The blood's in our veins. It just has to make that journey back to our heart. And the journey back to our heart from our legs, that's a tough journey. There's nothing behind it pushing it. There's no little heart in our feet. Although if you see me, you know, I stand up here for 2 hours or so, you see me moving around a lot, it's partly because it's healthier to do that, but I recognize that when you move your legs, you actually contract the muscles which aid and assist the veins in getting the blood to move back to where we want it to go. But as we get older, our blood vessels get challenged, and then no more challenge in the veins in our legs. And that's why everyone, I don't care how healthy you are, and I certainly try to be healthy and eat healthy, try to be active, the blood vessels in my legs aren't the same as they were when I was 25 or 35 or 45 or even 55. So all we can do is either say we're stuck with it and we tolerate all of the unpleasant changes that come with age, that come with overweight, that come with obesity, that come with perhaps challenges from type 2 diabetes, blood sugar issues, or blood pressure issues, or whatever it might be. So we either tolerate it or we figure, okay, no side effects, no risks,
right.
30-day money-back guarantee. We give it a try, and don't even, as they say, don't take my word for it, because you have a few thousand reviews. I think it probably says it somewhere on the screen, but of the reviews that are there, 90% of the reviews are 4 or 5-star reviews.
Which is remarkable.
Over 80% are 5-star reviews. That means 4 of 5 people who review the product say it's 5 stars, it's perfect. And say another 10% say it's excellent, 4-star reviews. And another 5% say it's very good, 3-star review. That's unbelievable. But it's not unbelievable if you do a little research. Yeah. And you read the reviews, I think they speak for themselves. And another thing I have to point out, I'm often asked a lot of questions very frequently. And one question I'm asked very frequently.
Go on, I can't wait to hear this.
Is how many bad reviews do we remove?
Fair question.
That we remove none. We remove none. So the only reviews we might remove are something if it had profanity,
right.
Or maybe if it was a 1-star review because the product wasn't received. The reviews are about the product itself. So every single review that's about the product, good, horrible, bad, indifferent, whatever they are, every single review is there in all its glory. So understand the fact that these products are customer picks and the fact that they're so perfectly reviewed is a byproduct of the experience they deliver. That's all.
It's so much to do with our lifestyle. To Andrew's point, you know, we might be on our feet all day. We might be a teacher or a nurse, or we might be sat down all day. We might be in the car driving. We might be somebody that works in sales and we do very little but sit in our cubicle on our desk. Well, not on the desk, that would be odd, but by the desk. The thing is, we're challenging our circulation. And you know there's nothing worse. You get home at night or it's the weekend and you've not got the energy to want to get up and go, that pep in your step, because your body is not getting it going like it should do. With circulation and vein support, we're helping to improve not only the look, but the tone, but truly the quality of our life. And the difference is significant. Andrew, has a lot to get to, and I want to make sure we share all the information. Right. I do want you to know, in terms of sizes, these are the 4 options that we have. Most people are going not for the 60, 180, 360, but for the 720. At this stage, we are about to hit 50,000 sold. If you take a look at that size for a minute over here.
And we are down to circulation vein support. Obviously, we anticipated a lot of demand. We have lots of experience with these today's specials. Right. But we are down to, in the large size, that's the most vulnerable size, but we're down to our last, it sounds like a lot, we're down to our last few thousand.
Oh my gosh.
But I think we probably planned to go through almost 10,000 before midnight.
Yes.
So in other words, we have some capsules we could add a little bit of quantity because we always hold back capsules just in case we predict volume incorrectly. Yeah. So we'll hold back a few million capsules. But by the way, 2 million capsules is only 3,000 bottles of the large size, because that large size is enormous. It's 720 capsules. Do the math, 3,000 times 720 is 2.1 million. So unfortunately, we're going to run out before midnight of this as well. And at midnight, regardless, the price goes up.
And just one other thing while you're on the phone to save you an extra phone call, you know, our turmeric is very limited. This is our second today's special. If you order the large size of circulation and vein support plus the large size of the turmeric, you're gonna get $10 off, which is fantastic, because these two are gonna go together very, very well.
And what I liked about that, if you take $10 off the circulation vein support, it becomes $119.90. Right. It becomes less than $10 a month. Right. It becomes barely 30 cents a day for this product. 30 cents a day. We stopped by the gym. There was a little machine that had bottles of water in the gym. The bottles of water were $2.50. Right. The little coffee shots were $4. Right. So in other words, you get a bottle of water is 8 days of this product. A coffee shot, what would that be? 15 days of this product, 2 weeks? Yep. So when you put that in context and you contemplate the benefits when you read the reviews, you might say, gosh, it's twice as expensive throughout the year. Maybe that's outside of my budget. But at 30 cents a day, that's a little bit more than a quarter a day, which is, and most of us, we don't even deal with change like that anymore nowadays.
But Andrew, it's also no effort. It's not like it's some big new thing that you've got to do. Like the new year is all about healthy you and making positive changes in our life. This is an easy change.
No, but that's a very interesting point, because a lot of times I give advice, and one of the things with Muriel's cookbooks we'll talk about later,
yes,
I always say it has to be easy, it has to be easy, it has to be easy. Because if the recipes are hard, I don't care how good they taste,
yep,
people will not do them. But what's nice about this, there's all sorts of things, activities and exercises and things you could do for healthy circulation in your legs. This will take you about 2 seconds a day. You don't even have to split up the capsules. It's been established in the research that you could take 2 capsules at one time. Ideally, you take 2 capsules. A lot of people, because they know I increase the potency, because they know it's more comprehensive, what they've done is they're taking 1 capsule a day, and they still swear it works, which it might,
right,
but it's really intended as a 2 capsule a day product. But that takes at least, what, 3 seconds,
right,
4 seconds?
At the most.
Because they're also, another point, unlike typical supplements that everybody's gotten sick of, typical supplements are large, hard to swallow tablets.
Yes.
They're full of additives. Those additives make the tablet hard to digest. They can make it difficult on your stomach. It could repeat on you, cause nausea, all sorts of things. This product is a tiny capsule. We could put it in 1 large capsule, but I know people don't like large capsules.
We don't.
So we use 2 small capsules as your daily dose, and it's an ultrafine powder. So basically, it's like dust. That's basically all plant-derived material. So it's just dried botanical material, ultrafine powder, will not upset your stomach, will not be hard to swallow, and it's about a little bit more than a quarter a day. That's at 2 capsules. If you really want to try it at 1 capsule, which I still recommend it being 2 capsules a day, because that's what the clinical research, the abundance of clinical research says, but even at 1 capsule a day, it becomes about 15 cents a day.
It's just nothing. It's so affordable. And I know Andrew takes great pride in making that possible. Maybe you've watched HSN for a long time, or maybe today is your first day. I want to fill you in on one fact. We've been around 42 years, and we see every single day and every single week, a month and year, thousands and thousands of products. Listen to this. This product, this one right here, has 2,200 perfect 5-star reviews. Most people never leave reviews. Oh, when they do leave a review, it's because they got something to say, that because they weren't happy with it. This product is beloved. When we talk about swollen calves, and we talk about people getting into bed at night and they just can't get comfortable, and their ankles are swollen, and
cramps,
they don't have
the heaviness. And these are things that, you know, I'll read the reviews. Doctor says, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't have any problems.
Right.
I don't have an electrolyte imbalance. So there's nothing wrong with me. I don't have any problems. So we hear it over and over and over. They can't find anything wrong with me. That the only thing that's wrong with us is that we're all human beings, and aging, I was going to use a word that's kind of a bad word. I was going to say aging sucks.
It's true. You can say that.
I'm going to blush now. But aging is just difficult. The only thing good about it is it lets us stay around. It beats the alternative. But it's uncomfortable. It's unpleasant at best. And it forces us to deal with change. And if there's one thing that human beings despise, we hate change, especially change that isn't good change. So what I really try to do with so many of my products, whether it's my eye product or my glucosamine product, what I really try to do is deliver products that enable our bodies to take care of themselves better.
Yes.
If we give our body the tools, it's amazing how remarkably well our bodies can take care of us. Unfortunately, the way we live in our society, all the influences we have, and we talked about that last weekend with how we live in a society that our body's designed to gain weight. Our body's designed to survive and hold on to energy. Weight is energy. So our body's designed to gain weight. And we now live in a world that's designed to help us gain weight. So if we want to thrive in this world, what we really have to do is we have to find special tools. Right. We have to find things that might not be obvious. That today, it was interesting, Colleen had said that she was really happy, grateful that I was here, because she would have never found out about this otherwise.
Yes.
That I'm not someone, a long time ago I decided that I didn't want my vitamin company to be the biggest vitamin company in the world.
Right.
I was very content. I was very content at QVC. Yep. I was very content here at HSN. I didn't have to have this big company and have my products in all the big stores, which have asked for my products. I'm sure. I was very happy to have my products here and talk to those who watch HSN. Unfortunately, that means a lot of folks are deprived of these products. I just had someone share something with me on, I think it was on LinkedIn actually, and saying just that do I feel like I have a duty to put my products elsewhere because they're an opportunity for a lot of people, that I should share these with others? And the answer is yes.
Right.
So hopefully more and more people will watch HSN or QVC, and that, because this is where I find the best platform to be able to educate, to be able to inform. And what I'll do in a moment, I'll be reading quotes from clinical studies. What commercials do you see on TV where folks will read quotes from boring science? But that's I think the platform that I've been afforded here, and I consider myself lucky and blessed to have stumbled into QVC 28, 29 years ago with Joe Siegel there and Doug Briggs, and that started it. So I hope you consider yourself lucky to have an opportunity to see products that you probably, like a product like this, is not available anywhere else. You won't find anything like this anywhere else.
It's a privilege. I say this to Andrew every time. It's a privilege to stand here with a product that delivers, that people respond to and take a chance on, and then will never ever live without.
Well, it's, as I've always said this, it's my privilege to stand here, not just from a business standpoint, because I would be exceedingly happy if that counter was 10% that number.
Right.
What I love doing is having this opportunity to share about an ingredient that can make a profound difference. And I'm gonna have to get to the reviews in a moment, because the reviews, if you're not gonna read them yourself, the reviews are beyond compelling and inspirational, and they're real, and they're written from people's hearts, and they're written about a transformative product, a transformational product that they didn't expect would work. And that's why their reviews are so passionate, because they didn't believe me, or they were skeptical, which is fine. We should all be skeptical until we see, what do they say, the proof is in the pudding? And
it is.
And there's a lot of pudding with this product.
There's a lot of pudding, and it tastes delicious, let me tell you. If it was up to me, we'd be doing this all night long. They won't let us. We're about to bring this presentation to a close because we are nearly sold out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking, this is for him and for her. If you're looking, we have about 1,000 left in the large size. Most people are buying this size because it's like a buy one, get one. I want to show you the pricing, because this is a once-a-year deal. Andrew doesn't do it any other time. It's the one opportunity a year to get it at the very best deal. Look, normally for the 360 caps, it costs $129. That's what the price will be in a couple hours from now. If you order it at this moment, you get the 720 for $129, because Andrew's discounted it $120. Ask about getting the turmeric, which is the other today's special, and save an additional $10. I joke about my mom coming over and always wanting this product, and I say it because honestly, I think it's more about now she wants to come over to restock on Circumvein Support than it is to see me. Every time she comes, she packs it into the suitcase and takes it back to England with her. If you are struggling with the feeling, the hurt, the aches, the pains, the cramps, the uncomfortable feeling, you've got to try this. If you are somebody that's tried everything but never really seen a breakthrough, you've got to try this. Andrew said something right at the beginning, and this struck a chord with me. So many of us grin and bear it when we don't need to grin and bear it, especially when something like this has proof in the pudding.
Yeah, and that's the science I'm going to read now, because there is science, there is clinical studies. You could go to the National Institute of Health, has a research database. Even if you just type in clinical studies, scientific research, and type in diosmin, D-I-O-S-M-I-N, or type in butcher's broom extract, you're going to be clicking on research studies. And just, if you look at the research studies, and it gets complicated, but just go down to the little, there's usually an abstract, which is a summary. And if you go to the bottom of that abstract or summary, there's usually something written that says results or conclusion, and you'll be able to understand that. They tend to drop out all the scientific jargon when they give the results and the conclusion. And that's usually where a lot of our quotes come from. But you will be astounded. You will wonder why you haven't heard of this before. And the basic reason why, it goes back to what we were talking about before. This is not some expensive drug or medicine for which we're making drug or medical claims. No. This is not treating diseases. This is treating the human condition, because the human condition, we stand upright and we sit too much. We either stand too much, we sit too much, we're overweight, we're obese. Even if we have the healthiest legs in the world, we stand too much, we sit too much, we're all aging. And unfortunately, the most challenged blood vessels in our body, perhaps other than our coronary arteries, are the veins in our legs. We see the challenges as we get older. We see them get enlarged. We see the changes that occurs. We see our ankles, our calves, our feet get more swollen with age. We see our shoe size change. This product is an opportunity. And when I read the research, it's crystal clear. The language in the research is easy to understand. So why don't we start? And this is from, and these are all from respected medical journals.
Okay.
This is a journal called International Angiology. It's an international medical journal dealing basically with circulation.
It's the real deal.
The efficacy, the effectiveness of this product, the key ingredient in this product, diosmin, was clearly demonstrated with a rapid improvement. Not just an improvement, a rapid improvement, and not of functional signs. And what they're talking about, functional signs of how well your veins are functioning.
Right.
That's what we really want to see. In the first months, being maintained till the end of the study, the reduction of ankle and calf circumferences. So, okay, not only a functional difference in how our veins worked, but a visible difference in the size of the ankle and the calf is probably linked to a decrease in plasma filtration through capillary walls. And when our circulation is healthier, we have less of this filtration, less of this basically leakage going on in our legs.
It swells.
Yeah,
wow.
It's the leakage from our blood vessels. This fact confirms the positive role of diosmin with hesperidin on tissue microcirculation. And the health of our microcirculation is the health of the circulation of our legs. It's how our legs feel. It's how they're going to feel when we sit down, when we lay down, when we go to sleep. And this is from another medical journal, the International Journal of Microcirculation. So these are all very specialized medical journals. The use of diosmin with hesperidin has been shown to improve venous tone, the tone of our veins. We want toned veins. Toned veins don't enlarge, toned veins don't leak.
Okay.
We want toned veins, just like we want a toned body.
Yeah.
Microvascular permeability, again, we want to improve microvascular permeability so we don't end up with leakage. Lymphatic activity, as we get older, our lymphatic drainage is critical to our tissues remaining healthy and appearing healthy, and microcirculatory nutritive flow, nourishing the tissues in our body. So again, by all measures, basically, diosmin with hesperidin, the key ingredient in this product, improves our circulation. And this is from another medical journal that relates to circulation called Angiology. What I'd like to do is go all over the medical journals to give you a sense of the consistency of the science and the clinical studies on this product. Pharmacological and clinical studies, so studies, plural, demonstrated the comprehensive mode of action, that it's not just a simple mode of action, a comprehensive mode of action of diosmin with hesperidin, meaning it improves, as we said before, the tone of veins, it improves lymph drainage, and it protects the microcirculation. These are all things that as we get older, even if we're very young, we all want this, we crave this, and it makes a difference.
Whether we're active or not active, this is a product that's going to make a huge difference. And I did say one last thing about my mom, because I promised I would say this. She now will absolutely wear a dress again, a skirt again. And for the longest time she didn't. And when she'd come over to see Chelsea and I and the kids, she wouldn't want to wear that when she went out. So, you know, I love it when Andrew gives us...
That's a common review.
Right.
About wearing a skirt, wearing a dress.
It changed her life, Andrew.
Changing, not having to wear support hose any longer or compression hosiery any longer. And of course, this product is, look at the science. You could refer your doctor to it. Your doctor could do the research. So I encourage you to show this product, as many of the reviews say, to your doctor. Your doctor's going to find nothing wrong with the product. And again, this is something that I always encourage everyone to do.
Yeah.
We want to partner with our doctor.
Yes.
Our doctor wants us to be healthy. Our doctor doesn't want us to be ill. So our doctor likes to see us taking steps that support our good health, support the systems in our body. So share something like this with your doctor.
It's on FlexPay as well. I want you to know that larger size, if you take a look, that fabulous 720 caps, which is a one-time-a-year deal, that is about to sell out, folks. We have fewer than 1,000 or so remaining. If you want the largest size,
we're going to be loading in at least 3 of the sizes. I think the 60, the 360, and the 720 pretty soon. And we're going to abbreviate. We're going to do a longer presentation in the second hour.
Okay.
We'll abbreviate it so we don't So we have a little left, but it will sell out before midnight. So we'll do an abbreviated presentation at the end of the second hour.
I just don't.
But I still want to read some reviews before we run along.
And we'll, because we still have like 8 minutes left, which is not a lot of time, but it's enough time to wow you. And I think that's what this product is. It's a wow. If you're sat thinking, should I, shouldn't I? Remember, one of the things Andrew and I both love, and all of us at HSN, is that 30-day return policy. As Andrew has said many times, you will start to see the difference and feel the difference in just a few days. You've got to try this. That's why I get so excited about it, because my mom would, if she was here, she would talk to you till she was blue in the face. And if you are struggling tonight in bed with cramps, with aches, your legs not being able to calm down, if you're on your feet all day long, or somebody's in the car all day long and you just feel the aches, the pains, the swelling, you've got to get this. It's one of those items that if you were to look at HSN as a whole, it is one of our most successful products of all time, because it works. And that's why I know with great pride it's there. 2,200 5-star reviews. When was the last time you left a review? Normally it's to say, I didn't quite love something. Andrew, you mentioned those reviews. This is, it's endless.
I want to read one more scientific chart. Okay. I know I get hung up on the science, because the science is objective third party, but I guess unrelated third party, but I guess so are the reviews. They're objective, unrelated third party. Good. And the science are the experiments that gave me the blueprint to do this. And what's interesting, the bulk of the science is on diosmin with hesperidin. And certainly that's where, let me grab this chart quickly here, sorry.
Hey.
That's where we start, with diosmin with hesperidin and rutin, another polyphenol. But we then there's a whole nother body of research on butcher's broom. There's a whole nother body of research on pine bark extract and grapeseed extract. So what I've done is I like to leave nothing to chance.
Right.
So as exciting as that research might be on diosmin with hesperidin, and it's not just exciting, it is beyond scientifically compelling. That is, as solid as it is, I want to make sure that I leave nothing to chance, which is again why this product, 90% of the reviews on this product are 4 and 5 star, 80% are 5 star, 10% are 4 star. Add the 3 star, it's crazy to think that almost 95% of the reviews on a product like this are positive reviews. So one more review, and then I promise I will read one more bit of science, then I'll promise I'll read a review. And this is from another scientific journal, medical journal, relating to circulation, Current Vascular Pharmacology. And of course, pharmacology, they're typically dealing with drugs. Yeah. In this case, they're not. The clinical efficacy of diosmin with hesperidin in venous circulation. And venous, again, that's an adjective pertaining to our veins. Okay. So the circulation in our veins has been demonstrated by several randomized controlled studies. Those are the most rigorously controlled studies, and they're not several, there's several dozen controlled studies in which the rate of benefits was significantly shortened. That means it worked really fast. An explanation for the ability to speed relief, which these are not really scientific words. Speed relief comes from the protection diosmin with hesperidin exerts on the microcirculation. So I love the science.
I know you do.
And I'm just gonna, and give me a moment, I'll just grab some reviews. I want to grab ones I haven't talked about already.
I feel like I need to take notes when Andrew goes to the science, but that's what this gentleman does. He is obsessed with bringing you the very best possible product, as he always has done in the years that he's been here on HSN and QVC. Well, with that in mind, we are now counting to the end of this penultimate presentation of the entire day. Whatever is left is going to be in the next hour, but we are busy. I promise we're going to get to you in just a matter of moments. It's worth waiting for. If you go on hsn.com, you can instantly check out. If you download the HSN mobile app on your phone or your tablet, or you can beat the rush, of course, because it's a buy one, get one essentially on that larger size, and because this will not be repeated in 2019, people want to take advantage. Andrew's been on all day long today, so this is kind of like that last moment to get it. Don't forget, if you order the large size of the other today's special, the turmeric, which is brilliant. You're talking about soothing on the joints. You get $10 off. So ask about the turmeric while you're ordering our fabulous circulation and vein support. And when you order, know that this is all made in America, that it's all pure, that it's all real, that there's no bad stuff in it. That was the very foundation of what Andrew built this company on, was to deliver the best.
Well, that was my only goal. The only reason my company exists is selfish reasons. I wanted to make supplements for me.
Right.
I was an athlete. I knew supplements can make a difference in my recovery. All the supplements on the market that I was taking were in tablets, contained additives, and I had a sensitive stomach, whatever. I was taking all these tablets, and I'd literally be bent over at the side of the track where I was running, sick to my stomach from the supplements I was taking. And certain ingredients that I knew I wanted to take weren't yet available, things like glucosamine and chondroitin, because I had access to the science in school that none of the other companies cared to make. So I'd have to go to Europe, go to Asia, not go there, but contact folks there to send me the ingredients. So this company simply exists because I was making supplements for me. And then I started making supplements for other athletes and professional teams. And the next thing you know, I stumbled, as I said, almost 30 years ago, I stumbled into the offices of QVC in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And that's what changed everything. So
if you ever write a book, I want to be the first in line to buy it.
No, it's been a crazy time. But as,
worthwhile.
As I was texting my dad tonight, my dad who just turned 89,
oh my God.
And he was saying something about luck or something like that. So I didn't get to text him back a response, but he texted something about luck, and I said, yeah, it's amazing how lucky I become the harder I work. Yes, and I said, and my dad responded, yes, I've always said that, and I was going to text him back that, yeah, someone had told me that, meaning him.
Right.
so
that's nice.
But it's always
true.
It's always a good piece of advice to tell people that hard work above all, patience, persistence, hard work wins out above all.
Here.
Luck is in the back.
Nothing to do with
it. Luck only shows up when you show up.
Yes.
A lot. So, all right, let's read the reviews. Absolutely the best supplement I've ever tried. Amazing product. I could tell a difference within 3 days. My swollen feet and tired legs are gone. I have more endurance now when I work out. I will never do without this supplement. You have to try it to believe it. I can't stop talking about it. Thank you for, apparently neither can I. Thank you for making it affordable too. I love it. I only wish I started it sooner.
Wow.
Thank you, Andrew, from Lisa in Illinois. Miracle. By the way, the word miracle in these 2,000 plus reviews shows up a few hundred times.
I bet it does.
Amazing shows up, I think, 900 times.
You see?
I purchased these in January 1st as a Today special. We've done that for 20 years, but ended up giving them to my brother, whose ankles were so swollen despite all the medications his doctor prescribed for him, or sometimes because of the medications. Within days, his ankles went back to normal. Wow. My ankles were not swollen, so I thought I didn't need them yet. Well, then I heard Andrew talk about restless legs at night, which I have. So I purchased them for myself a few weeks ago. No more restless legs. You rock,
yes,
Andrew.
Yes, you do.
Thank you. That's nice. Love this product. And by the way, I just went to the middle of the stack and I grabbed reviews from like 85 to 92. Love this product, was highly skeptical. The reviews are right. This product absolutely works. I had ankles that would get very stiff whenever I sat down, so much that I had trouble walking until they loosened up. Wow. I have been using this for about a week and no more stiffness. Amazing. It is actually a product that does what it says. Thank you, Andrew from Holly in Minnesota.
How long the reviews are, Andrew.
Oh, they're incredible. Sorry, I'm going to go by the clock, so we'll be shorter in the second hour because I don't want to run out of product until it'll be gone before midnight though.
Wow.
Best for feet cramps. 3 days after I started taking these capsules, I stopped having leg and feet cramps, Charlie horses when I slept. And this product does work quickly. I had tried everything before and nothing worked. If you get cramps when you go to bed, then you must order these. Do not hesitate.
See?
I couldn't believe the results. This is the most amazing product, and I would highly recommend it. I have spider veins on my ankles that almost covered the entire inside of my ankle. After taking this supplement, the spider veins have reduced by, I would say, at least 75%.
Wow.
My legs look so much better. I'm not embarrassed to wear dresses and shorts. My mom has terrible varicose and spider veins, and her legs have improved at least 50%.
See?
I can't believe the results. Thank you, Andrew, for making an incredible product. No more tired legs. I love this product. This is a reorder because I don't know if I can live without it. And these are, we don't edit these. My legs used to get tired walking up one flight of stairs, but after using this circulation vein support from Andrew Lessman for approximately 1 to 2 weeks, I can honestly say that it is remarkable how I don't have any problems anymore with my legs feeling heavy and tired. I don't even think about it now compared to the way I used to dread walking up the stairs, so I take an elevator. I can keep up with my grandchildren. I mean, these are I'll read a few more. We won't have much time
We could
in the
go all
second
night.
hour.
I love it.
This really works. I started taking this a few years ago when I was on my feet a lot and thought that it worked, but then I stopped. A few years later, I found myself once again being on my feet for 8 to 10 hours and started having leg cramps and general discomfort in my legs, particularly at night. So I started taking this again. Within a few weeks, I noticed my problems diminishing rapidly. It obviously is making a huge difference since this is the only thing that I changed. I will not doubt its validity again. From Patricia in Pennsylvania. Just a couple more. Happy legs. I never took vitamins in my life. At 66 years old, I worked at my computer 8 to 11 hours a day. My legs would bother me at night and were cramping. I decided to try this wonderful supplement, and within a couple of weeks, my legs had no more cramping. We don't add the exclamation points.
Multiple there.
I started to take many of your products and love them. I'm not overweight and only have time to walk a mile a day, but I am not on any medications, only on your naturals. From Logan in South Carolina. Great product. I've taken these for years because I used to walk a lot and wanted to keep my legs in good shape. I'm now almost 81 years old, and although I do not walk like I used to, when I had my legs checked via ultrasound at the cardiologist's office, the technician remarked that I had excellent circulation in my legs for my age. Wow. I told her what I was taking, and she said, don't stop. I will tell the doctor about these vitamins. Andrew Lessman is the best.
He is the best.
Okay, one last one. A definite feel the difference product. Both my husband and I take quite a few supplements, try to eat well and exercise. Some products are feel the difference if you only miss taking them for a day or two, and this is one of those.
Yes.
For me, by the end of the day, my feet are bothering me and my legs just feel tired and heavy, regardless of the shoes I'm wearing, and my husband reports similar results. We definitely love this product and would highly recommend it.
I don't know what else there is to say. The only thing I know is, as sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, this will sell out by midnight. If you would like to get in on the best pricing of the year, the lowest pricing ever, the most potent formula ever, this is that last opportunity before they're all gone. Here are the sizes that are available. You've got the smallest size, which is going to be your 60 caps. A lot of people buy a size like this for traveling. This is going to be the 180. This is your 360 on Flex Pay, and this is the 720. I want to show you something. The reason why we're really busy at the moment is because Andrew's doing a buy one, get one. Essentially, when you would buy the 360, you would spend $129, right? So for 360 caps, normally it's $129. If you order right now, and there are only a few hundred left, you get double the amount for the same price. So double the amount, 360 to 720, for the same price of $129, and it's on FlexPay. There's so much that we can say and so much that we can talk about. But the truth is, when your legs don't feel good, when your feet are swollen, when your ankles are swollen, when you've got cramps, you don't want to be up and about and running around after the kids or the grandkids. You don't feel like you've got the energy to do it. It holds you back. When you have circulation and vein support, something Andrew brought to life over 20 years ago, you changed that. And Andrew, it doesn't take long to start feeling and seeing those differences.
Oh no, there are reviews that talks about a matter of days, just 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, certainly. 30 days is ample time. 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee, ample time. And again, best pricing ever. It's basically buy one, get one free in the large size, pretty close to that in all the sizes. So it's an opportunity to make a profound difference in something that I think most of us we've given up, that we don't think this is an area that we can make a difference in. These are the sorts of things like maybe wrinkles on our skin, maybe gray hair, that we just get older and this is the way it is. But when it comes to the circulation in our legs, the way it is whatever you choose to make it. And this product can make a difference for you.
Again, we are promising we're going to get to you momentarily. We're going to head over this way.
Yes.
Our wonderful team are trying to process the calls as fast as possible. But Andrew, we are busy.
And we spent a little longer on that than we anticipated, so we're going to spend less time on it at the end of the second hour. But then again, we have to because we're so limited. So normally when we do this once a year today special, I like to spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
But if we run out of product,
there's not a lot we can do.
all I do is torment people if we run out of product. Nothing like talking about something on air that I don't have any left. So we've done our best. and we'll make sure that we'll have at least enough until probably between 11 and 12 o'clock. That's when I see us running out. But we'll do an abbreviated airing. We planned on spending about 35 or 40 minutes at the end of the second hour.
Right.
We'll probably spend about maybe 20 or 25 minutes.
Well, actually, I'm not going to complain or moan, because after the lunchtime show, I didn't even think we would have a presentation of our second today's special, the turmeric, because so many people ordered this with the circulation and vein support. We have but a few now to go around, so I think we only have about 10 minutes here. Turmeric is something that, as Andrew's mentioned, has gained a lot of momentum in recent years. It is a wonderful ingredient that can do so much. The word soothe and soothing springs to mind, not just in things like our joints, but also if you go back many, many years to other areas of our body, like our liver, our digestive system. There's a lot to get into with this. I want to show you the pricing. Again, today and today only, really affordable for a significant improvement in quality of life. 30 caps, 60, 120, 240, 360. This is not inexpensive at $189.90. That's what you normally spend. Today, it's $99.90. That saves you $90. I heard Andrew say something earlier, and it was important because I would want to know this if I was at home. Andrew, the cost of the ingredients continues to go up. So for you to maintain these prices is difficult to do.
Well, but what often happens is the efficiencies with which we produce things, and some things we produce all entirely ourselves, those efficiencies allow us to reduce the cost on certain products. Certainly, that's the case with CoQ10. CoQ10 is not something we make, it's made for us, but the cost of CoQ10 has gone down dramatically over the years, and I think we're part of the reason that we've been able to drive the cost down on CoQ10, on things like acetyl L-carnitine. Turmeric is a very expensive standardized extract, but you can get the most expensive standardized extract of turmeric, and that in and of itself is not sufficient to have a good turmeric product.
Yes.
In fact, if all you took was the best standardized extract of turmeric, it would just be an okay product. Because unfortunately, turmeric in its raw, natural extracted form, so you take turmeric and you extract it, so 95% of that turmeric, almost 100%, 95% are the curcuminoids that deliver the protective benefits, the soothing benefits to your joints, the protective detoxifying benefits to your liver, the supportive benefits to your brain, to your digestive system. Those curcuminoids are 95% of the extract, which sounds incredible. It sounds wonderful. But those curcuminoids are really poorly absorbed from the human digestive system.
Wow.
What little we absorb is relatively rapidly cleared from the human digestive system. So, in order for turmeric to really work, you have to figure a way to get it into the body, and to get it into the body and help it stay there. And the way that's accomplished with my product, and has been proven, scientifically proven, and also traditionally proven, because if you go back to India, where we've known epidemiologically, you look at studies of large populations and you look at the health associated with certain behaviors, the behavior of consuming turmeric has all sorts of health benefits associated with it. But how do the Indians in India, how do they manage to get the benefits of turmeric if turmeric is inherently poorly absorbed? Well, if turmeric is complexed with fat, turmeric becomes highly absorbable. That is what we've done. We take the most important fat in your liver and your brain, phosphatidylcholine, an important phospholipid, and we complexed our turmeric with the most important phospholipid in your liver and your brain. And that makes turmeric not a little bit more absorbable, try 30 times more absorbable, 3,000% more absorbable. So that's what we've done. I've mentioned before, there's another methodology for enhancing the absorption of turmeric. It works. It's with this black pepper, piperine extract. The only reason I chose to not do that is because I thought an extract of black pepper could be potentially irritating to sensitive stomachs. Also, my real concern is it also involves itself in the metabolism and the absorption of certain drugs and medications.
Yes.
And I didn't want any of my supplements to have to come with any kind of a warning in that regard. So we chose the natural way, which is complexing it with the most important fat for your liver and your brain, and that's phosphatidylcholine.
It's funny because I did this before the show, if you Google turmeric and you look at the long list of benefits that people see from it, it will drive you wild. Turmeric, as Andrew said, is very important in terms of the form. Getting it in the right form, delivering the maximum benefits is so important. If you would like to try turmeric and you know somebody that's talked about turmeric, this is your day to do it. I know from being on HSN previously, turmeric is one of those ingredients that people swear by and live by. I want to let you know, we are now down to hundreds, not thousands. It's the lowest price ever. Yes, we know, definitely it is, but it's also the best day to say, I'm gonna do something for me. I'm gonna treat myself to better health in the new year. So many of us, we live and breathe all these advertisements and commercials and people saying this and doing this, but the reality is so many times we're let down. With Andrew's products, they are designed to deliver. So in terms of options, this is what we've got.
They're designed to thrill you. And
right.
I revel in the good reviews, but I take the bad reviews to heart. And I've made products that got bad reviews. Yeah. My Secure Meal Replacement was a little over 2-star product 20 years ago.
Right.
But I changed it. I look at the reviews as constructive criticism because my goal is to make perfect products. So a product like this is almost 95% positive reviews.
But Andrew, so many people, and not to speak ill of anybody else, but a lot of people look the other way when you see reviews, and that's not something that as a consumer we appreciate.
No, but I'm just not wired that way. I could read 500 incredibly wonderful positive reviews, and I'll read one bad review, and that's I should probably talk to a therapist about that. But I'll read the one bad review, and I'll want to understand and figure out what I can do to eliminate it.
And that's the difference.
And the savings is best pricing ever. We've never done this as a Today Special. This is not part of our annual rotation of Today Specials. It will probably be a Today Special in 2020, but perhaps not in January. Glucosamine chondroitin normally is in January.
Yes.
So this might be another 1.5 years before we do this as a Today Special.
We have over 1,000 people placing orders. Not everybody that's calling in tonight is going to be able to get all that they want. I know that what we've got is what we've got.
Well, we have a bit more capsules. We had about 5 million capsules set aside extra to even out, balance sizes and things like that. We're already through half of those capsules.
Can't believe it.
So we're going to have enough to last until, say, 10 p.m. I know there's a tremendous hold and we're very busy, but don't worry, we'll have enough of this till 10 p.m. It will be absolutely gone sometime right around after that.
The savings are significant, which is why people are buying circulation and vein support. Obviously, that is getting an abbreviated presentation the next hour. You've got to have circulation and vein support. And then with turmeric, if you get the large size of the turmeric, you're going to get $10 off. So it's worthwhile getting the combo. Bear in mind, we have flex pay as well. If you don't want to wait, you can always go on hsn.com. It's really easy to do, even if you're on your phone, even if you don't have the app. If you just go to your browser and go to hsn.com there, you can instantly check out. We'll make sure you get basically to the front of the queue, front of the line, so you do not miss out on this. Turmeric is intriguing. It's a curiosity that a lot of people are excited to try.
Well, turmeric, you almost can't read a scientific journal, you can't read a health magazine, you can't read sometimes newspapers even talking about it. That the benefits, even the, last night I was going through the research and Muriel was like sitting at the table and I was just sitting on the sofa going through the research and I was like going, kind of like, oh my goodness, like what the heck? That the volume of new research, and I was just looking at the stack of recently published research, that there's stacks and stacks and stacks of research if you go back the last 10 or 15 years. But the quantity of interest, the interest that's now being focused on turmeric is incredible, is impressive. From all our internal organs, from our liver to our pancreas to our gallbladder to our digestive system, because interestingly enough, turmeric and its protective benefits tend to be concentrated in the tissues of our digestive system.
I didn't know.
Which is a wonderful thing. To our eyes, I read 2 incredible studies on the benefits of turmeric to our eyes. And of course, the benefits, we've talked about the brain, we talked about the liver before, but I think if you read the reviews, probably 75–80% of the commentary in the reviews pertain to our joints. Because turmeric, was initially exciting in terms of its benefits to our joints, its soothing benefits to our joints. It's not a drug, it's not an anti-inflammatory, but it does exert a soothing effect on our joints. Also, there was great science I was reading about. I talk about berberine when I talk about cinnamon.
Yeah.
Berberine is an extract that not only can help with our blood sugar levels, but can help with the balance of our lipid levels. And turmeric is in some ways related. It's also a root, as is berberine, barberry root. But turmeric also exerts supportive benefits in terms of our blood lipids as well. So you have to look long and hard to find something in your body that turmeric doesn't seem to exert a beneficial or supportive benefit. And it's not a drug, it's not a medicine, it doesn't come with warnings, because it's not a hot spice that, I mean, if you open the capsule, I mean, you could open the capsule and you could sprinkle it, Muriel will sprinkle it into egg whites.
Right.
When she makes egg white frittata, it looks like we used egg yellows. Like the yolk of the egg with its cholesterol things.
Color.
And it's a natural color. But it's not a, if I were to taste it, it's not a spicy hot spice. I couldn't do that with red pepper or things like that.
Right.
But it's a mild spice, so you don't have to worry about it irritating your stomach. So a lot of people are concerned and worried about that turmeric's going to upset their stomach. It's just the opposite with turmeric. It tends to be supportive and soothing and comforting to the digestive system.
You see, I know this may sound silly at this stage, but being with Andrew, talking with Andrew, spending time with Andrew, I am now so picky and fussy about it. I won't buy, if there's a product that Andrew makes, I won't buy any other brand. Because I know Andrew behind the scenes, and I know that whether it's the Turmeric Today Special or the Circulation and Vein Support Today Special, what goes into it is the best. There's nothing bad, no fillers, no lubricants, no additives, no artificial this, artificial that. It's the highest grade, highest quality. So turmeric, we've seen various forms, right? We've seen various different options out there in the market. I won't buy any other than Andrew's, because I know what's in this is going to give me maximum benefit. You talk about soothing joints, yes, liver, digestive support. We're talking for hundreds and hundreds of years throughout the world. This has been an ingredient that people have raved about. So if you'd like to try this, we'd love to have you on board. Obviously, we're excited to see so many people saying, yes, I want a better 2019 than 2018. Improving the quality of our lives at affordable prices. Andrew said earlier that today's specials allow for something special. It allows for a volume of product that allows us to bring it down to a price that really is extraordinary. Look at the 360. If you take one a day, this is going to be fabulous. Normally, it's just shy of $200.
And that's typical dosage. One a day, at most two. It's a product that I read a review earlier, 2 reviews earlier from someone who both of them were taking 8 capsules per day.
Oh, wow.
I guess their doctor had recommended that, but that's not, you don't have to do that unless there's some specific recommendation. At 1 or 2 capsules per day, that's what most people are doing, and that's the positive reviews we're getting on the product. So again, it's not dangerous, it's entirely natural, there's no side effects. It's not a drug, it's not a medicine. And it's an opportunity to get something that's typically very expensive. Even at our great pricing, it's not inexpensive, but today it becomes affordable for everyone, I think.
And gentle on your stomach in every which way. So many people worry about that, and you don't need to worry with these. No, and folks, our producer Steve just let me know, okay, this size, that's the 3rd size in. If you're looking for the 120, that's very popular today. Then again, so is the 240 and the 360.
Well, the 360 is probably about 60% of the orders. The 360 is always the largest size rather is always, it's over 60% of the orders is the large size. But we know that, so we planned for it. But we still will, this will be running out. So, and even circulation vein support, the 720 capsule supply, that also is over 60% of the orders. So, I mean, people identify the savings. That's the most efficient and affordable product we produce is that large size. Also, another thing, it is the most environmentally sound way to get that product. That's 1 delivery for a year if you get both of these Today Specials.
Yeah.
1 delivery, both products come to you. If you got 60-day supplies, you're going to be getting 6 deliveries a year, potentially for 2 different products. That means 2 truck deliveries. That means 6 different bottles, more plastic, more label. So it's from an environmental standpoint, it's a wonderful thing to do as well. It's obviously the savings is dramatic, but it's the nicest thing to do to the planet as well. Less waste and less environmental burden.
And I'm glad you said that, because so often we forget that aspect, and it's so true.
And by the way, all of my bottles, we actually forced the bottle manufacturer who make plastic bottles for the vitamin industry.
Go on.
We were the first ones to force them to start using post-consumer waste.
Wow.
Meaning our products are made, our bottles are made from, of course our bottles are recyclable, but they're all made from recycled plastic too. So there's no virgin plastic being produced for any of your products. Everything's made entirely with solar energy. For every bottle you get, we donate 3 bottles of prenatal vitamins to a needy mother somewhere in the world. 1/4 of those mothers are right here in America.
Over 35 million have been donated at this point in time.
Well over 1 billion doses, and certainly we're all over. We're at hospitals and health centers, at Native American reservations around the U.S. We're in the inner city at special healthcare facilities. So it's women even in America sometimes don't get the support they need for their pregnancies, and we make sure that we support that.
If Anna, you know, not to speak about Andrew like he's not here, but if only every company was as diligent and caring, because it make, you know, as you say, Andrew, your company, the size that it is, making a significant impact.
No, we're little guys.
Right.
We're a little company.
Right.
I only wish that those companies that are enormous would take the same exact approach. But then, as I said before, I consider myself, you know, blessed and lucky to be here, blessed and lucky to be doing what I love. Yeah. So it's kind of second nature. In fact, we're going to increase